So today, we're taking a trip way back in time to ancient Mesoamerica to uncover the story of a civilization that's as mysterious as it is important. They're often called the Mother Culture, and for good reason. They pretty much laid the groundwork for huge empires like the Maya and the Aztecs. We're talking about the Olmecs.
Right. We've all heard about the Maya and the Aztecs. You know, their incredible pyramids, their super complex calendars, their massive empires. But have you ever stopped and thought, wait a minute, who came before them? Who built the very foundation that they stood on? Well, that's the big question we're answering today, and the answer is the Olmecs. So, where do we even begin with a civilization this ancient? Our first big clue to understanding just how powerful and sophisticated they were comes from something, well, something truly monumental. Let's start with the mystery of their giant stone heads. I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 50 tons. To put that in perspective, that's like the weight of 8 huge elephants. Or a modern battle tank. I mean, what on earth could the Olmecs have possibly created that weighed that much? The answer is these, the world-famous Olmec colossal heads. So far, 17 have been dug up, and each one was carved from a single, gigantic block of volcanic basalt. Now here's the part that's just mind-blowing. The rock they used had to be moved over 80 kilometers, that's about 50 miles, through dense jungle and swamps, all without using the wheel. The main theory is that these are incredibly lifelike portraits of powerful Olmec rulers, basically making themselves immortal in stone. But their artistic skills didn't stop at just realistic portraits. Oh no. All over their art, you find this really fascinating figure popping up again and again. The Were-Jaguar. It's this hybrid creature, part human, part jaguar, and it's probably a powerful god or maybe a shaman caught in the middle of transforming into their spirit animal. It's a fantastic window into what they believed, showing us just how important the jaguar was to their entire world. And their talents weren't just for sculpture. These guys were also master builders. They built huge ceremonial centers and some of the very first pyramids in the Americas, like the Great Pyramid at Venta. This tells you they had a highly organized society, one that was totally capable of managing these massive public works projects. Okay, so we've seen they were incredible artists and builders, but their legacy, their real impact, goes so much deeper than just stone. They also laid the intellectual foundation of knowledge for an entire region. First, let's just get our bearings on the timeline. The Olmec civilization was around for about 1,000 years, roughly from 1400 to 400 BCE. And their power wasn't just in one place. It shifted between these major hubs. It all started at San Lorenzo, which was violently destroyed around 900 BCE. Then, the center of power moved to La Venta, which thrived for another 500 years before its own mysterious collapse. So you can see, this was a dynamic, evolving society, not just some single static empire. You know, for a very long time, historians actually argued about whether the Olmecs even had a writing system. Well, that whole debate was pretty much settled in the 1990s with the discovery of this thing, the Coscajal block. This stone tablet is now seen as proof of one of the oldest writing systems in the Americas, and it completely rewrote what we thought we knew about written language in this part of the world. And this is where their mother culture status really snaps into focus. Their ideas didn't just vanish, they spread. They came up with a complex calendar system that literally became the blueprint for the Maya and Aztec calendars. They were pioneers in using math and astronomy for their rituals. And get this, they're even thought to be the ones who started the famous Mesoamerican ball game, a sacred sport that would be played across the region for centuries. They basically created the cultural template. Okay, so what kind of society could produce all of these incredible achievements? What was day-to-day life actually like? And what do these people believe? Let's dive in. At its very core, Olmec society was built on that classic agricultural trio of the Americas: maize, beans, and squash. But they were anything but isolated farmers. They set up a huge trade network, bringing in valuable materials like jade and obsidian from hundreds of miles away. This wasn't just about business. It was a way of projecting their power and influence across the whole region. So, what was going on in their spiritual world? Well, it was rich and complex. Jaguar worship was obviously a huge deal, which makes sense with all the Were-Jaguar art we saw. But look at that last piece, the feathered serpent. Sound familiar? It should.
This is a concept, a deity, that will become absolutely central to civilizations like the Aztecs centuries later, and it looks like it got its start right here with the Olmecs, just another foundational idea passed down through the ages. So when you put all of this together, the monumental art, the groundbreaking science, the widespread trade, and the foundational religion, what does it all add up to? We're left with a mysterious but incredibly profound legacy. And that legacy is really best summed up by the title that archaeologists and historians have given them, the Mother Culture of Mesoamerica. It's a really powerful statement, and it captures their immense importance perfectly. So why Mother Culture? Because the Olmecs provided the cultural and religious platform for pretty much everyone who came after them in Mesoamerica. Their basic ideas about how to be a king, about art, their calendar, their gods, they didn't just disappear. They were picked up, adapted, and evolved by the great civilizations that followed, all the way from the Maya to the Aztecs. And that brings us to the final and most haunting question. Around 400 BCE, after 1,000 years of influence, the Olmec civilization just went into decline and vanished. We have theories, of course, climate change, volcanoes, maybe civil war, but we have no definitive answer. How did the Mother Culture, a civilization so advanced, so foundational, simply disappear?